In the last lecture, we have studied about Chomsky normal form, and also I have discussed with you the steps that we have to follow in order to convert a given context-free grammar to Chomsky normal form. So, if you have not watched the previous video, I suggest that you watch it first before you proceed with this one. So, in this lecture, we will be seeing with an example of how to convert a CFG to Chomsky normal form. So, here we have a CFG given. It's a grammar whose production is given by this, where S gives A as A and also AB, A gives B and also S, and B gives B and epsilon. So here S is the start symbol, and then the variables are A and B, and then the terminal symbols or non-variables are small a and small b. So we have to convert this to Chomsky normal form. So let me just give you a quick recap of the steps that we have to follow. First of all, if you see that there is a start symbol S in the right hand side of any production, then we have to create a new start symbol S dash. And then in the second step, you have to remove all the null productions. And in the third step, you have to remove all the unit productions. And then in the fourth step, you have to check if there are any productions in which there are more than two variables in the right hand side. And if there are any, you must convert it so that it will have only two variables in the right hand side. And also in the fifth step, you have to check if there are any productions in which the right hand side contains a terminal symbol and a non-terminal symbol. Then you have to change it and convert it in such a way that it will contain either both variables or just a single terminal symbol. So those are the steps that we need to follow. So let us directly get into this problem and try to solve this. So let's go to step number 1. So in step number 1, what we have to do is we have to check if S is appearing in the right hand side of any productions. So we see that here S is appearing in the right hand side, even here S is appearing in the right hand side. So in that case, what we have to do is we add a new state S dash and we create a new production S dash gives S. So our new production will look like this. We have created a new state S dash and we have created a production which says S dash gives S, and then the remaining things will be the same. So that is how we perform the first step. Now let's go to the second step. So in the second step, we have to check if there are any null productions and we have to remove the null productions. So let us see what are the null productions that we have. Here we see that B gives epsilon. This is a null production. And also A gives epsilon. It is not directly there over here in this production, but I will show you how this comes as we proceed. And if you don't know how to remove the null productions, I suggest that you watch the video in which we have discussed how to remove null productions from a context-free grammar. Okay, so we have two null productions here. So let us first remove B gives epsilon. So in order to remove B gives epsilon, what you have to do is we have to check this production, and wherever you find that a B or a capital B is occurring, you have to remove that capital B, and we have to add that as a new production. So let's see how we can do this. So here we see that in this there is no B, but in this one S gives A as A and A B. So from here, if we remove this B, what will be the new production that we get? From A B, if we remove B, the new production that we will get is just A. So what I will do, I will write this as it is, and here S gives A as A, this one, and AB also you have to write it as it is, and then if you remove B from here, what you will get is just a single A. So that A we write here as a new production. And then come to this one, A gives B and S. Now from this, if you remove B, what will happen? You will get a production which says A gives epsilon. So I will first write the things which was already there as it is. A gives B S, and if I remove B, I will get an epsilon here, which is this one. And then B gives B, B gives B, and we can remove the epsilon from here because this is what we were trying to remove, the null production that we were trying to remove. Okay, now this we get this production now, and we see that we got another null production in this production that we have, which is A gives epsilon. So we have to remove A gives epsilon. So in order to remove A gives epsilon, you have to follow the same procedure. Wherever you find A in the RHS, you have to replace it and create new productions without that A. So let's see. S gives S, there is no A here, so we write it as it is. And here we see that there are A's. S gives ASA. There are two A's over here. So what we do, I will first write all these things as they are, ASA, AB and A. Up to here it is same. And now from this ASA, if I remove the last A, then what do I get? I will just get AS. So I include the production AS. And now instead of removing this last, if I remove this first, what do I get? I will get SA, and that is a new production that I will add. And if I remove both the A's, then what do I get? I will just get a single S, and that also I have to add it here. So I have added them all, and then from here I can remove the epsilon symbol. A gives epsilon, which was the null production that we were trying to remove. So A gives BS, epsilon symbol is gone, and B gives B is written as it is. Okay, now we have finished removing the null productions, and the third step is to remove the unit productions. So if you don't know how to remove unit productions, there is a lecture in which I have discussed how to remove unit productions in detail, so you can watch that if you don't know how to do it. So let's see in this case what are the unit productions that we have. So unit productions are of this form. When one variable gives just another variable, that is called a unit production. So here we have S gives S, S gives S, this is one unit production. Then S dash gives S, that is another unit productions. Then A gives B, this is another unit production. And A gives S, this is another unit production. So we have to remove them. So in order to remove unit productions, what we have to do, let us see. So in order to remove this S gives S, we see that this is the latest production that we have. So S is giving this whole thing and also S. And what is the value of S? It is again this same thing. So you can just directly remove it without doing any further steps. So we just remove it directly, and after we remove, we get this S dash gives S is same, and S gives all these things as it is, and this S over here is removed, and then the rest of the things are same. So we are done with the first one. Now we have to remove S dash gives S. So in order to remove S dash gives S, what we have to do is we have to replace this S with something. So what we'll do, we'll look at the latest production which we have, which is this one, and here we see that S dash is giving S, and then the value of this S is this one over here. So instead of writing S dash gives S, I will replace this S with these whole variables which this S produces. So I will write S dash gives ASA, AB, A, AS and SA, this one, and then S remains the same, this whole thing S, and then A and B also remains the same. Okay, so we are done with this, and now the third one we have to remove is A gives B. So in order to remove A gives B, let us check the latest production that we have, which is this one, and I want to remove A gives B. So what can I replace B with? So we see that B is giving small b, so I will replace A gives B with A gives small b. So S dash and S are the same, they will be the same as they are, and here A gives BS. So instead of this B over here, I will replace it with small b. So A gives small b and S, and B gives B remains the same. Okay, so we are done with this one, and now let's come to the last one, which is A gives S. A gives S. So in order to remove this, we see that we have to replace this S with the value of S. And what is the value of S? S gives this whole thing. So I have to say that A will give B, and instead of S, I will put this whole thing. So S dash and S, they remain the same, no changes. So here A gives B, which was already there, and instead of S, I will put the whole value of S, this one, and then B gives B remains the same. So by this we have removed all the unit productions from our given CFG. Okay, so now we can go to the next step. So in the next step, what we have to do is we have to find out the productions that has more than two variables in RHS. So if you remember the rules of Chomsky normal form, we are not allowed to have more than two variables in the RHS. So this is the latest production that we have, and from this latest production we see that S dash is giving ASA. It is having more than two variables. It is having three variables, so this is not allowed. And S gives ASA. This is also not allowed. And A is also giving ASA. So these are the three productions that violates the rules of Chomsky normal form. So we have to remove them. So in order to remove them, what we will do is, instead of writing A as A, I will just write A, and this SA I will replace it with another variable which I will call X, and that X will give a new production which says X gives SA. So how I'll do this? S dash gives A, and instead of SA I will just write X, and then the rest of the things are the same. And even in S, instead of ASA I will write A, and instead of SA I will write X, and the rest of the things remains the same. And even in A I do the same thing. Instead of ASA I just write A followed by X, and then B remains the same. And now I have to add a new production, X gives SA, because all the SAs were replaced by X. So X gives SA is a new production that we have. So we are done with that, and now let's go to the next step. So in the next step we have to change the productions S dash gives AB, S gives AB, and A gives AB. And why is that? That is because these productions also violate the rule of Chomsky normal form, because in Chomsky normal form, in the right hand side, you are not allowed to have one terminal symbol and a variable together. So in order to remove this, let's see what are the things we need to do. So if you want to see where are these, you can see this. S dash gives AB, S gives AB, A gives AB. These are the three things that I'm talking about. So in order to remove this, what we will do is, this A over here, I will replace it with a variable. This A is a terminal symbol, so I will replace it with a variable which I will call Y, and I will add a production which says Y gives A. So how will we do this? S dash gives AX, it is the same thing, and instead of AB, this A will be replaced by Y, so it will be YB, and then the rest of the things remains the same. And even in S we do the same thing, AB is replaced by YB, and even in A same thing happens, AB is replaced by YB, and then B gives B and X gives SA remains the same, and we have to add a new production, Y gives A, because we have used Y here. And why did we use Y? Because we were replacing the small a's with the Y. So Y gives A is a new production that we have to add. So finally we get this production, which is a required Chomsky normal form for the given context-free grammar. So if you check these productions, they are following all the rules of Chomsky normal form.